What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about a handful of crypto mining stocks today. I forget who requested this. I for some reason didn't take a picture. I like to screenshot on my phone and then write it down, write the names down. But I just remember that somebody did request that I talk about Bitfarms. We're actually going to talk about Bitfarms. We'll talk about WULF. We'll talk about CleanSpark, Marathon, RIOT, all those ones. You know, I talked about them in my live stream last night, so it'll probably just be a quick kind of rendition of these. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get into this. If you want to see the more in-depth analysis on a lot of these, check out the live stream. I did talk about the mining stocks after Bitcoin. There was one stock that I talked about before the mining stocks. I feel like I did talk about them right after. If it wasn't the mining stocks after Bitcoin, it was the Grayscale Trust and then the mining stocks, but relatively like early on in the live stream. But you can check that out if you'd like. Anyways, let's get started. So looking at this thing here, let's see, talking about Bitfarms, because we're going to do Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Marathon, WULF, RIOT. Let's do it like that, yeah. Relative high to low here, 61869 area. Pulled back to your 0.5. This is a really good look on a fib structure. This really is a good look. The only thing that would not be good is if Bitcoin were to pull back or have some kind of significant pullback. If it did, this would probably go down with it. You could see prices down at around $1.30. You potentially could see, yeah, I would think that'd be your low. But with how it looks right now, I would kind of think you're getting ready to move up higher, potentially to 650, maybe even to like 470 area. Is that right? 470 to 650, yeah, you could be moving up there right now, and then inevitably higher, but that would be like your next kind of target zone, the 786 to 886 area. Again, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't have like some kind of impending drop on it. The weekly RSI looks decent, not like too good, not too bad or anything. Daily, yeah, the daily RSI looks pretty damn good. I like the price action. I like the way that this week finished. Relative high to low here. You are in like the expected area, so again, you do have lower highs here. You know, you definitely could reject from here. It's hard to say. I would stand by that those targets are absolutely at play right now, but with how this looks, right, just like kind of on a trending basis, it wouldn't be crazy at all if even if you went up a little higher, if you came back down to this, you know, this area here. Am I missing something? I feel like, let me go back, hold on. I'm gonna have to click back a lot here. Okay, no, that's right. For some reason I thought I said 330, but it's $1.30, okay. Yeah, $1.28, $1.30 area, yeah. That would make sense to me. It looks right with this channel. But it also would make sense based off the fibs. It would make sense to go up to the 786, 886 area. The real way to know is if we can get above these highs, or really getting a week to close above the 618 again would be a good step. Here you closed at it, so it's not enough. Close above it and really close above this weekly high close here, and that would start to look good. Really getting above that 6.9 would look good too, but you don't even have to actually get prices above this. If you can just close above like $3.05, you're looking good. But if you reject from here, if you come back down to this 0.5, likely you will go to about $1.20 to $1.30, that area. That's Bitfarms. Let's talk about CleanSpark. I spent a little bit too much time on that. I didn't want to. Here's CleanSpark. If you've, yeah, I don't know what I want to say here. I already confessed my sins, man, about being wrong on this one, so I can do it again here, but that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the TA, so let's do the TA. If you want to see me admitting that I'm wrong, check out the live stream from yesterday. Looking at this here, you do have bearish divergence, very pronounced bearish divergence on the weekly. It's not confirmed. Very solid volume, very solid candle. This looks like the real deal, man. It really does look like the real deal. But again, assuming that there's no impending correction in Bitcoin, this thing probably does continue up a little bit. I do very much expect that the prices will revert back below $10, potentially even below $9 again at some point before really taking off. But you might go up a little bit more before then. From high to low here, relatively speaking, you demolished that 61869. You broke above your 100 level. The next target would be 1663 to 2155. Absolutely, you could go there. Now the only thing is you're still in this area where you found resistance before. You actually closed right at this high. So could you reject from here and go lower? It's possible. Will we go lower than this low? It is possible. It is possible, but it's a lot less likely now, especially with this week. Odds are what we'll do is, relatively speaking, we could pull back to this 618, which is right at about 1020, or pull back all the way to this 382 at about 853, something like that, even to the 786, that, or the 236, I'm sorry, that's possible as well. You know, at like best case scenario, worst case scenario, depending on how you look at it, 1020 is kind of the area that I would expect to pull back to. You know, after we pull up here, or if we can't get up there, like if we saw some kind of rejection off of this area. But we do have weekly bearish divergence presenting itself. It's not confirmed until we get a red week, and really probably 2 red weeks at that. So if that does happen, I very much would expect that we would see some kind of significant retracement based off of this move from low to high. We could see a move that takes us all the way back, you know, based off of this fib retracement, all the way back to around like 880 to 830, potentially like around a little bit above $10. But I would think that you go below $10. Now, if you close below 830 on a weekly basis, essentially if you engulf this whole candle, then the price targets that I've been looking at for the past like month and a half would still be on the play, would still be on the table. But that's the thing is, and I'm not saying that as like that's my expectation. I'm saying that as like if you're a bear and you have hopes that this thing could go lower, it's going to take a lot. You're going to have to engulf this 68% weak candle with the most volume we've ever seen in this thing's history. Like, is that going to happen? I mean, is it the most volume? Yes. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Probably not. Look at, I mean, like any time that you've seen candles like this, like, okay, here, okay, I guess there, but you were in a downtrend here. It's a bit different. You're not really you're in an uptrend right now. It could be the same, but I doubt it. You know, here, I guess, but you still went up afterwards, you know. I really wouldn't expect that happens. But again, if Bitcoin were to see some kind of correction, that does add to the possibility. Now, just because, well, let's say Bitcoin corrects next week, that doesn't mean this thing is going below this low at all. It just means probably these next highs that, you know, we're looking for at 1663 to 2155 might be put on pause for a second. And, you know, what I'm going to do, if it is put on pause, if we do pull back, I'll probably clear out of my put option, open up some call options for the long term, like for the long term. But if we do go up here, I'm just going to wait for it to pull back, get a healthy correction, and whenever it does, I'll probably just close my put options for like neutral / slightly in the green, and then continue up from there. And that's kind of the plan from here on out. For me at least. But we do have this weekly bearish divergence forming. I do expect that would promote some kind of correctional period. We did move up a lot in a very short amount of time. Seeing a pullback is normal on stuff like this, but that's a crazy move, man. It could absolutely continue, you know. And until we see it happen, we don't really know where it's going. That could have been the relative high, and then it pulls back down, but I don't think it's going lower than this, though. I think anything that we pull back down right now would likely be a higher low, like in this range, right? I don't think we'd actually go below this low. We probably don't even go below $9, but going below $10 is possible. I would think that we go below $11, but we'll see. We'll see. And again, those targets might happen after we go higher first. So let's just see how we do next week. Let's see how Bitcoin does, stuff like that. Marathon, I think, was the next one. Also looking good. Very nice week. Strong bounce off the 50 area. You are in your 61869 zone. So this is a kind of key area to look for strength, to kind of dig deep and try to break out. This is a lower high. It's not the same chart as CleanSpark. You are at your overbought zone. If you were to reject here, that would set you up for going back to about 1960, 1955, potentially even all the way down to like 1750. And if you were to close, really, if you were to close below this low on a daily basis at 1660 there, if you close below that, likely you would actually go lower than this low. But at this moment in time, just like CleanSpark, I'm not expecting that you do go below this low, short of like some kind of very significant, what's the word I'm looking for? Pullback? Not, it's what, reversal. That's the word I'm looking for. But you are at your 618. common area to find resistance. So just because you pull back from here does not mean we're getting a reversal. You could genuinely pull all the way. You're at 23.90 right now. You could pull all the way back to 17.50 and still be fine. But if you close below 16.60, about $1 below that level, that's when you should get worried that the price is going to go lower, or get excited depending on what side of the arena you're standing on. It wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be crazy to like pull back lower, you know, somewhere in this zone. It kind of does match up with this like ascending trend line we have here, but you don't have to do that. You really don't have to do that, you know. Maybe you do continue up first and then you pull back down, something like that, form a higher low nonetheless, but it's months later. We'll just see how it goes. If you were to continue, I do think that you find significance here. You probably do pull back immediately speaking, but if you were to continue this move out, we'll see it at like $38.50 to $50 within the next month or so, the coming weeks probably. But initially, I do think you see some kind of pullback from here, unless we start the week off positive. If we can continue to push into this overbought zone, this is becoming a lot more likely, a lot more quickly too. So that's Marathon. RIOT. Let's go to RIOT now. RIOT very much looks just like Marathon. I feel like I don't have to go into depth of this. 618, 69 area, pull back to your 382, 236, very common. At least to your 0.5 at 1344. And then from there you probably continue to move up. It's a very bullish looking daily RSI, but rejecting off the overbought zone wouldn't be too good, honestly. And that could be, rejecting off the overbought zone could be enough of a kick in the pants to send you all the way back down here and perform that M pattern that I was talking about for the past month and a half. This M pattern will get nullified if you go up too much higher, right? If you get a week to close above like 1740, or no, I guess it'd be actually like 17, what is that? 1780. If you can get a week to close above 1780, this M pattern is nullified, and you likely are going up to 2250 to 2830, somewhere in that zone. But it's not confirmed yet, right? And just because you pull back from here doesn't mean that the upside's done either. Pulling back from the 618 to 69, going to your 382 or 236 area is very common. Going to your 0.5, very common, and then you move up, you know. So let's just see how this does. Let's see how the week goes. Again, same thing with Marathon. If you can get the week to open up green, close Monday green, and get into this overbought zone, that would look a lot better. Rejecting off this overbought zone would not look good. There'd be some solid hope that you could break below these lows, but right now I'm not anticipating that. So that's RIOT. Just trying to stay fluid, guys. You know, that's it. You know, things right now in the charts, I know I've been bearish for a while, right? And for a while I was right, and for a while I wasn't wrong or right, and right now I am wrong on my bearish calls for lower prices. But those prices could very well still be at play. But with what we're doing, with the amount of volume we're seeing, with what Bitcoin's doing right now, things are a little bit different right now, okay? Yes, it's still a lower high. We don't have confirmation that we are going up yet, and that's why I'm not like completely convinced one way or another. But I am a bit, I would say that all these lower prices that I've been calling for miners across the board, their likelihood has gone down substantially over this past week. And that's understandable. You know, the difference between a good trader and a bad trader, a good investor and a bad investor, it's not being right or wrong all the time, right? It's not that. It's being able to admit when you're wrong and not just suffer through it and let your account go to zero for the sake of trying to hold on to that hope that you could be right. There is hope. There is hope, but I don't like that word hope, man, because hope implies doubt. I forget who said that, but whoever said that, I think I heard it off a movie one time, and it stuck with me. But hope does imply doubt, you know, believing, you know, having faith, that's a little bit different, right? But having hope, this thing, I don't have faith that it's going to go down here. I don't believe that it's going to go down here. I have hopes that it could go down here. But, you know, I'm kind of skeptical because it absolutely could continue to go higher. But that's RIOT. Let's finish this up with WULF. Very similar chart as well. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. 618, 69 area, rejected your 0.5, found support on your 236. Next thing you probably do is come back and find support on your 382 at $1.77. You're at 220 now. You probably form a higher low, and then you move up higher from there. Where are you going to go? $4.09, $5.66, something like that, relatively speaking, if this remains productive, right? You still have to get higher highs, which you don't have. Find support down here, continue these higher lows. If Bitcoin were to crap out, that could be not good for Wolf, and that would mean that prices probably do go lower. And where would they go? This M pattern is still very much at play. If it were to go lower, you could see Wolf all the way down at about 63 cents. You absolutely could. If not at least somewhere around these lows, around like $1, just below $1. But that might not happen. Again, things have changed. This isn't as positive looking as CleanSpark is, but it can be. It can catch up. You know, who knows? Who knows? It's really dependent, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin turns around, the mining stocks will turn around probably. If Bitcoin keeps going up, mining stocks will probably go up a lot more. And that all relies in what's to come on Monday. So be prepared for that. If you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. I am going to make a video on Bitcoin, so if you want to check that out, it's going to be posted right after this. So take care. Bye-bye. That's all I got for you.